I'd like to welcome everyone to council chambers. I see some new faces out there. At this time, I call the council meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll now have public appeals. Personal appeal. If you have a personal appeal, please sign in, state your name, and you have up to 5 minutes to make your appeal.
Good evening, all. I am signed in. Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Mr. President. Long time coming, Mr. President. Nice to see you sitting up there. Mr. Pepe, Attorney Dinkelhocker, and council members. This evening, I'm here to just say a word, it's more than a few words, about the Snow Blast Winter Arts Festival that we had. Terry McManaman sends her regrets that she could not be here this evening, so she gave me a few words to read. I hope you'll indulge me as I read these to you. Terry gets very excited about these things, so I'll try and do it in her intonation as well. First I want to recognize a few people here. First of all, Dick Farmer is back here from the Emmaus Arts Commission. Ellen Wilson also is on the subcommittee. Lauren Kuhn, who is here this evening from the Arts Commission, and our Jeff Shubster, who did a nice job with the website, as always, getting ready for it. On behalf of the Emmaus Arts Commission and the Snow Blast Committee, we'd like to publicly thank Borough Council, Public Works, the Emmaus Fire Department, and Ambulance Corps, and the Emmaus community for supporting our 10th annual, hard to believe, 10th annual, Snow Blast Winter Arts Festival. Our special fire and light celebration was a huge success. We estimated just 1,000 people in Emmaus on Saturday visited the Triangle and all the businesses. This year we had 36 venues participating during the Saturday-only event, with many, many art-related activities highlighted throughout town. Some spilled out into the sidewalk in front of businesses, which gave a wonderfully artsy feel to our town. Participating stores and restaurants all reported being very busy, and we received emails, calls, texts, and Facebook posts thanking the EAC for such a great event. Emmaus Borough received positive media coverage in the Morning Call, Go Guide, the East Penn Press, WDIY, WLEV, and many Facebook pages and Twitter posts by attendees and supporters. The EAC's mission and primary role is to help foster the arts and culture in Emmaus by creating programming and events that focus on the delivery of multiple art forms. We are continuing to fulfill this mission through generous contributions, and thanks to Lehigh Valley Honda, Lehigh Valley Martial Arts, Lafayette Ambassador Bank, Lehigh Print and Data, East Penn Press, La Belle Cuisine, Switchback Pizza, AI Orthodontics, Emmaus Public Library, Ice Cream World, Wesley Works, and again, thank you to Wes Barrett for being there, does a great job on the Triangle, Rashish and Nisha Ray, Blick Art Materials, Emmaus Main Street Partners, Greater Lehigh Valley Chamber of Commerce, WLEV Radio, C.F. Martin and Company, Klein Family Inc., East Penn School District Art Club, Sculpted Ice Works, and Crystal Cabin Fever, Her Foods Incorporated, and Alyssa Griffith Waldron, LLC. Special thanks to the Arts Commission sustaining supporters throughout the year, including Emmaus Borough Council, Emmaus Public Works, John Ashcroft, Emmaus Yoga, Parkway Printing, Ott Consulting, Greg's Auto, Lehigh County Housing Authority, Bobcale Piano, Volpe Sports Bar, and Lachmanic Insurance Agency of Allentown, LLC. We're already working on our next event. The ACS is planning the 6th annual Rain Barrel Art Silent Auction. The call for artists will be open in early March, and the beautifully painted barrels shown at the Emmaus Farmers Market beginning in June. We'd like to remind everyone to please check our website frequently for updated information at emmausarts.org. If anyone is interested in joining us in growing the arts in Emmaus, we would welcome volunteers, participants, and board members. As we've told the many reporters and photographers who came to Emmaus during Snow Blast, it takes a village to plan a successful event. All of us on the Arts Commission appreciate our Emmaus community, and thank you all for supporting the arts in our borough. We can't do it without you. And I will say, as a person who has been to many, many one-day events, that was one of the best I've ever seen in town. The number of people involved was amazing. Some people criticized us for not having the Friday event the Friday evening portion of this, I think it worked out much better. And I think Mr. Barrett can attest that last year when we did it and it was about 25 degrees, everyone was gone by 8 o'clock Friday evening after many, many hours of planning. And I think doing it on one day with everyone involved, 36 venues, and really great weather turned out to be a very nice evening. So thank you again for your support.
Dr. Weldell, I'd like to thank you and the commission, because without you, this would not happen. And unfortunately, I had to work that day, but I saw a lot of it through my daughter's camera lens,
Right,
because
she did a
she
nice job.
photographed a lot
Yeah.
of it. So thank you very much.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
Hello, good evening. Jessica O'Donnell with Emmaus Main Street Partners. I have John Hayes and Greg Yerstrumpsis with me. I'm just here to touch base with some great things happening with Emmaus Main Street Partners. On Sunday, March 6th, we have partnered up with the Emmaus Historical Society for a bingo event at St. John's Lutheran Church, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Very excited about this partnership with the Emmaus Historical Society. It's been well received throughout town. Businesses love that two community organizations have partnered up for this event. So looking forward to this event. Also, save the date, Shane. We have our golf tournament coming up on Monday, June 20th at Green Pond. Let's see if you can be the reigning champ again, so bring your ringers. So look forward to the save the dates out there.
Don't be jealous.
Also, we're here to thank Borough Council for your continuous support. We could not do the events that we are doing throughout town without your support, so thank you again with that. Also, I'm very excited and pleased to know that our Borough Manager, Shane Pepe, is going to be awarded Borough Manager of the Year on March 29th in front of 700-plus people. So mayors and municipalities, he was nominated by myself and the organization, and he was picked to receive this award. So very excited, and I think it's definitely well deserved for you. So again, thank you for everything.
Thank you.
I would also like to introduce Greg Yerstrumpsis, who is my Assistant Main Street Manager. Here.
Hello, I'm Greg Strumskis, and I've been working with the Emmaus Main Street Partners and Jessica for over a month now. I've had a lot of opportunity to get in the businesses and the community members, and it's been a wonderful experience. So I look forward to working with the borough and the residents of this great town, and hopefully we can keep this momentum going. Thank you.
Thank you. And congratulations, Shane. That's a nice honor.
Thank you.
Everyone on council knows you deserve it.
Except for one, maybe.
And the mayor.
Because you keep losing doesn't mean you have to be jealous.
He keeps adding, I don't know how he keeps adding to the list of winnings.
Any other personal appeals?
Is that on the same day as the golf?
Hearing none, we'll move on
We
to...
have one gentleman.
Oh,
I don't know if this is the place or the time we signed in, but
Sure.
we're here to say something about our neighbor. We moved in on Furnace Street in September of 2012, and we have a neighbor who...
please state your name
I'm
and your
sorry.
address.
Carl Timke at 547 Furnace Street, Emmaus.
And did you sign in?
Yes, I did.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
We just have concerns about our neighbor's activity, whether it is not out of the zoning ordinance of being non-residential. He's, through the spring, summer, and fall, chopping up cars, building demolition derby cars, and his property is basically a junkyard. And when we're out in our yard gardening and doing other things, we smell burning metal. He's burning fires that smell like burning metal. It's constant industrial type of activity. He's got a forklift back there. And I know the entire neighborhood is fed up with it. And so we're here to bring this to your attention that we want to know what we can do about it. Because we feel it's out of line for the residents, the residential area that we live in, which is very beautiful. This is a wonderful town. And unfortunately, his behavior is not well liked. He's got 3 dogs that bark constantly outside and inside. And he's very inconsiderate neighbor.
Shane, is that something we refer to the zoning officer?
Yeah, but I think maybe we'll also take it to the Health, Sanitation, and Codes Committee as well. And discuss it
We'll
there,
have
too.
a couple options of checking it out, so
I know
that
he's
will be
been-
follow-up.
Thank you very much. And I know he's been cited before for his behavior and the junk and whatnot, undermining zoning laws with, he's got a wood burner in his house. When he burns wood, we can smell wood in our home. I mean, it's just, it's not conducive to being fair to us as homeowners and taxpayers.
All right, thank you. And if there's anything that you might want to write down or provide more information,
We certainly
they,
can.
they will address that at their,
Yeah, if-
the
would
committee
you like-
meet.
Send it to my attention, and I'll get it over to the committee, but
Yeah, our
what's our
committee-
next committee
Yeah, our
meeting?
next committee meeting is February 18th at 3:45, if you can attend.
Okay, very good, thank
And
you.
maybe kind of put a list together,
Certainly.
and we'll ask our zoning officer to be there as well.
Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen.
All right.
Thank you. Any other appeals? Hearing none, we'll move on to community minute. Anyone have a community minute? Special presentations, any special presentations tonight? We have none. No?
No, we're gonna, Fields of Indian Creek will be under new business.
Okay. Minutes. February 1st, 2016 minutes. Is there a motion to dispense of the reading of the minutes? Motion by Councilman Barrett, second. Councilman Anders, discussion? All those in favor? 7 ayes. Any corrections or additions? Or a motion to approve the minutes, we'll go with. Councilman Schubsta, second. Councilman Barrett, corrections or additions? None? All those in favor? 6 ayes. Those opposed? Those abstaining? 1 abstain. Councilwoman Gilbert. Moving on to decisions on bids, we have none. Communications. We have a letter from the parent-teacher organization from Lincoln Elementary School requesting some items for their spring festival being held May 19th from 4 to 7. Shane, this is something that's a yearly event. Is this something that we should just refer to staff?
Yes.
There are some items for closing the alley, I believe.
They're closing the alley this time?
Well,
They typically do, yeah.
Pike Street from Seam to Harrison Street. And
Yeah,
Seam Street
yeah,
from
yeah.
2nd to
They
3rd.
do keep that closed because of all the traffic.
So
Oh, I
staff
thought
will
they had
handle
just
that.
put parking in there. Okay.
I think you guys usually vote on the road closures.
All right,
Or
is
the
there,
mayor has
The
it.
mayor does, right?
Yeah, it's up to you guys.
is there a motion to close those 2 streets? Councilman Anders, second. Councilman Barrett, discussion? All those in favor? 7 ayes? All right. Next letter is from, what's, actually a community event information sheet for the Funk 5 Miler. And this is an event that we had last year. And I believe I can refer this to Parks and Rec.
I think that's a list of streets to be closed, right? I think that should probably go to public safety first.
Okay, we'll refer that to public safety. The event is to be held June 4th. So we have a little time, but they want to be able to, yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, this is similar to what was last year, but I think it would be good if, last year started off, lots of ideas, it kinda got narrowed down. I think this looks similar to that, but I think it should definitely be discussed and aired out.
Yeah.
And then maybe if they continue to do it, it'll be.
They're providing alcohol and there's some other
Yeah,
items
yeah, they're-
that I think it'd be worth discussing. at
Yeah, I absolutely.
So safety committee will handle the streets and Parks and Rec will handle the triangle part?
No,
Or you want to handle it all?
yeah, we'll send it to
It
public
makes it
safety
easier.
first.
Okay,
I
so-
did, actually, I had Mrs. Yandel contact all the department heads, and I specifically asked her to ask them if there were any issues from last year, and there were none, because they had changed the start
Yeah.
location. So this is actually identical to what last year's event was.
Okay.
But we'll look at it again. I know Rochelle had wanted to come to the meeting, and I didn't think it was necessary for her to attend public safety. But if you want to send it to committee, that's fine. We can talk about it again.
Yeah, the only thing I remember is it got a little convoluted with Chief Faust, ended up having to reroute a few of the things, but once it got ironed out, it all worked out.
Everything went-
If
the only
this is
thing-
everything that's the same,
Yeah.
then,
The only thing that I do ask, though, this year is that we bill for all our services. Last year, we did not.
Okay,
There were
so
services
bring that
that we
up
did
in
not
the,
bill for.
maybe you can bring that up in the committee then.
If you
And
want
what
to refer it to committee, we'll handle it that way.
Okay, and, yeah, that's fine. We'll do all those items then. All right, we received a letter from Ellie Bracken. Eli? And I received your 2 emails regarding my EAC term expiration. I apologize for not responding. I have been working for with some personal issues that may have impacted my renewal. I am requesting the Emmaus Borough Council to renew my appointment to the Emmaus Upper Milford Joint EAC at the next council meeting of March 7th, 2016. Refer this to Health, Sanitation, and Codes? No?
no,
Just put it on the agenda?
So,
To renew.
my personal opinion is reappoint him right now.
Right now? Okay.
And the term actually ends in 2019.
All right, so is there a motion to appoint or reappoint Eli Bracken to the EAC? Councilman Barrett, second. Councilwoman Gilbert, discussion? All those in favor? 7 ayes. Thank you. And we have a letter from,
This is the
a letter that
official one, right?
we receive on a yearly basis from the Cedar Brook Sportsman, Fred Musselman, who's the secretary/treasurer, requesting the $300 donation to stock the Furnace Dam with trout, 200 trout. And this is a yearly event. We discussed this in the Budget and Finance Committee and decided since this is a yearly event, it was already budgeted for this year when we went through the budget process. We decided that we're going to just put this in every year. So unless somebody has an issue with that. And it comes out of the Civic Celebrations line item. So, does anyone else have any other communication that they want to bring forward? All right. Borough Engineers Report, we have none. Solicitors Report, Mr. Dingelacker.
The only thing I have to report is that we have no decision yet from the Commonwealth Court. And in fact, I was just looking. We have no decision from the Commonwealth Court in the fireman's case, and I was just looking to see if anything came down this week, and it did not. So we continue to await a decision in that regard. We'll see what happens.
All right, thank you. Unfinished business part 1, ordinance 1136. Is there a motion to this is for the second reading, and is there a motion to read it in short title? Councilwoman Gilbert, second. Councilman Brown, discussion. All those in favor? There are 7 ayes. An ordinance 1136, an ordinance repealing section 351 through 356 of chapter 1 of the codified ordinances involving the Civil Service Commission rules and regulations and adopting amended rules and regulations. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 1136? Councilman Barrett, second. Councilwoman Gilbert, discussion. We pretty much went over the changes last meeting. This is a roll call vote. Councilman Brown?
Aye.
Councilman Schubsta?
Aye.
Councilman Anders?
Aye.
Councilman Barrett?
Aye.
Councilman Dufresne?
Aye.
Councilman Gilbert?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gilbert, sorry. Councilman Ladenburg? Aye. There are 7 ayes. Sorry about that.
I was wondering when you were going to slip up.
Well, you get in the flow. I got to start with you first.
There you go.
All right, new business. We have Fields at Indian Creek Phase 1 final. I'd like to invite anyone involved with that to join us up at the table here. We have several attachments in your iPad. One with the resolution, a couple with the drawn plans. One is the
That's probably about it.
yeah, and then
I did email
we
you.
also had comments from engineer and
I emailed you their TP site. I figured you didn't want 60 attachments to.
No, I'm glad you did that. It worked out.
So,
So we don't have an engineer.
no, that's right.
You can handle it.
Tom.
Sure.
Tom knows.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing we're voting on is the resolution.
Resolution.
Only the
You'll guide
resolution.
us through that. Yes.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Doug White. Work with Blue Engineering. As you guys know, we're here seeing phase 1 final plan.
Oh, you hold on 1 second. We're gonna get you a microphone. Tap it.
Plug it in.
Talk into it. See if it's on.
Sing.
No.
Try to turn it on.
Sing us a song.
Oh, no, please.
Mic check, mic check.
I think we got
Thank you, Nate.
Yeah, I think if it's there, just so it picks it up, just so that in the minutes we can actually hear it.
Okay. You guys hear me now? Okay. As stated, my name is Doug White. I work with Blue Engineering. Representing Key Builders. Many of you are familiar with this project. We've been going through a long, extensive process. But just for I'll give a brief synopsis of what got us to this point for the new council members and just for a refresher for everybody. 2013, MAS passed a age restricted ordinance that allows us to do this type of development by right. We got approval to do it on this property. The plan that we're proposing currently has 217 age restricted units. We're bordered on Indian Creek Road, over here, Cedar Crest Boulevard, Chestnut Street. The property overall is about 78 acres. 12 of those acres approximately are in Borough of Emmaus. We filed preliminary plans in 2013 as well, so we've been going through a long law review process between the borough, Upper Milford Township, Lower Macungie, various other government agencies, the Turnpike, DEP, LVPC, PennDOT, LCA, and we're kind of getting close to the end of all of our approvals, outside agency-wise and also municipal-wise. We previously had a preliminary plan approval from all municipalities. The phase plan, there's 5 total phases. And as I stated, we're here for phase 1 of that development, which is really the front part of this development up here, including the community center, this detention basin here. Now, it's hard to see, I think, from where you guys are, but this is the portion that's in advance. None of those units are proposed in phase 1. So just going back in time here a little bit to when the plan first started, many of you probably were aware that K Builders tried to secure an easement through the farmhouse property for emergency access purposes. Emergency access has always been an extremely important part of this project. At that time, Rick Cose's efforts to secure that easement fell through, and he went with an alternative design, which was, as shown here, to go from Green Street over to Liver Creek and into our property, and that was going to be just reserved for emergency purposes. So we filed the plans. We filed our phase 1 final plans with the mayor in November 2015. I'm sorry, September 2015, and they were reviewed by the Planning Commission and approved late 2015. Shortly after that, K Builder was actually able to secure the easement for emergency purposes through the farmhouse property, which will be located over here in this area. This plan was really just for informational purposes for you guys. So I think throughout the planning process, everybody had preferred the emergency access to be off of Chestnut Street as opposed to traversing the Liver Creek. So essentially, in December, K Builders was able to secure that easement, and we went back to the Planning Commission and obtained their recommendation for approval for that emergency access. And that brings us to where we are here tonight before you guys to hopefully obtain a final plan approval for phase 1. So K Builders can improve on the project.
All right, this time I'll turn it over to solicitor.
Thank you. This is what is called a Phase 1 final plan, and as was stated before, the preliminary plan, which focused on the overall development, was conditionally approved, I believe it was last year, by resolution of council. And what happened was the developer was asking to do this project in phases, and the request is for a 5-phase project. And the reason why you break a project up into phases is to limit the cost incrementally, because you have to build the infrastructure first. And rather than building the infrastructure for the entire development up front, it's easier to break it up into phases. When you break a plan up into phases such as this, each phase has to stand on its own as if none of the other phases ever get built. So Phase 1, even though it only covers about 43 units to the north, I guess that would be northeast of where the community center is going to be, along the Lower Macungie Township line, that everything to support that particular phase has to be built as if none of the rest of the development is going to be built. So council may recall that one of the things that we required to be done as part of the Phase 1 improvements was the construction of the emergency access road, and as was stated, to come up through Green Street. The Planning Commission reviewed the Phase 1 final plan, I think back in early December, recommended a conditional approval to council, identified the conditions, and at that time there was at least some discussion of the possibility of the emergency access changing to the farmhouse, traverse the farmhouse property through an easement. That did come about, and the plan went back to the Planning Commission last week. The Planning Commission again looked at the plan and again has recommended conditional approval of the Phase 1 final plan, this time with the emergency access going over the lands of, I think it's called the Golf Club of Emmaus. So what would happen would be that the emergency access would run from Chestnut Street in, parallel to the turnpike, and then Daylily Drive, which is the long road that you see along the bottom, Daylily Drive will essentially be improved in such a manner that emergency equipment can enter from Chestnut and get up to the portion of the development that will be constructed. And then gradually each phase will fill in, and I think that residences in the Emmaus community are not going to be built until I think it's maybe Phase 4 or Phase 5.
Phase 3 and Phase 5.
Phase 3 and Phase 5. So it's a little ways down the road depending on how the marketing goes. But what will happen in the future is the developer will come in with each phase. So the Planning Commission will next see Phase 2, and it'll be a Phase 2 final plan, Phase 3 final plan, et cetera, up until the time the development is done. And sometimes, if these properties sell quickly, we might see the developer in real quick with all phases at one time. And I've seen that happen with developments that get broken up like this. The sales go quicker than were thought. So tonight, what you're looking at is a resolution for a conditional approval of the Phase 1 final plan. The conditions are attached to the resolution. They're stated in the resolution, and to the extent that they rely on documents, the documents are attached. And the documents would include the Hanover Engineering letter of February 5, 2016, which has a number of comments, as well as Jim Farnsworth's review memorandum as the zoning officer. And there are some comments that come from both of those. Other conditions of approval will be compliance with the requirements of Lower Macungie Township and Upper Milford Township. And at that point, then the developer will work out the conditions and hopefully then begin to proceed with construction of the infrastructure and then ultimately the sale of the lots. So if anybody has any questions in that regard, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions? I have a couple questions, but not more for him than you.
Sure, no problem.
Well, first of all, I think almost everyone in council is happy that you were able to get the emergency entrance at the farmhouse versus building a bridge over Libers Creek. When you come in there, there's houses there now. So when you do that actual phase, is it going to change where the emergency vehicles will actually enter?
Yeah, this plan is out of date now. I'm gonna flip to this next page here. This is a smaller scale.
Does it show on the one we have?
Yes, it shows correctly on.
Okay.
If you go to Grand Plan.
But we did remove,
Granting Plan.
we did remove unit 42.
Okay.
So the previous plan had 218 units. The plan in front of you now is 217. We just removed unit 42, so the emergency access can go through there.
Okay. And then just out of curiosity, how many phases is it expected to be?
5 phases.
5 phases.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's all I have.
And just one question regarding, I heard there was some sort of walking path that eventually we wanted to interconnect possibly over towards Community Park and so forth. Is that included in your plans?
Yes, there's a walking path associated through, I don't think I mentioned this, but yeah, there was, like I said, there's 78 acres about for the whole property. 30 of those acres are preserved open space under a separate ordinance for Upper Milford. We did a preserved open space ordinance with them, which was also allowed the age restricted. But yeah, through the area that many of you are probably familiar with, where the fairways and the golf course along the creek, there is a walking path there, and there will be a public easement along that path.
Okay.
And that actually gets you all the way up. That gets you from Indian Creek Road all the way up to the sidewalk in Cedar Crest and north.
Councilman Barrett.
It actually piggybacks on that. It doesn't appear to be defined, and maybe it is. There were 60 different maps to look through, so I wasn't 100% sure on this. Some seem to indicate it. So the bridges that are pre-existing from when it was a golf course, those, I know just from seeing them that some of them have been improved. Is there going to be any more improvement to those
Yeah, there's
bridges?
going to be some more improvement to that. K Builders has enlisted structural engineer
Okay.
to analyze those, and they're preparing a report.
Okay.
I have not seen that report to date, but Rick Hose, is the president of K Builders, has agreed with Upper Milford to comply with the recommendations of that engineer report.
Okay.
So he plans to.
So so those bridges should be more robust so that they can stand the test of time. I mean, they're,
Yeah.
I think, fading at the current state that they're at.
Yeah, I've seen them. They're not best of condition.
Right.
Yeah, he's planning on fixing those up.
Okay. And then as far as the surface that's going to get put down there, it seemed that some is going to be paved, some is going to be, there'll be something on the surface, or is it just going to be the grass and?
There will be something on the surface. Part of the problem we have is repairing a buffer.
Mhm.
Now, there's existing pavement. Many of you are probably
Right,
familiar
yeah.
with this. There's some areas that are paved car paths.
Yes.
And those will remain. There are some areas, though, where the car path ends and then picks up.
Mhm.
And in those areas, the idea is that we will connect it with an ADA compliant gravel path.
Okay, great.
And part of it's a little dicey with DEP
Yeah.
as far as putting in more impervious in the repairing buffer.
Mhm.
There's an extensive waiver process to go through that is not a sure thing by any stretch. So the idea right now is an ADA compliant, basically cinder path.
Mhm. A cinder path, I mean, I didn't know if it was going to be wood chip or what it was. I figured it wasn't paved, but since some showed paved, I figured that what was there is going to stay, and then whatever you will be connecting the other pieces, though. Great.
Councilman Brown.
On the continuity from going from Upper Milford into the borough of Emmaus, I know it's far out, but sidewalks. It looks to me, please correct me if I'm wrong, are the sidewalks in Upper Milford on both sides?
Yeah, there's sidewalks on both sides.
And then once you cross into, is there going to be continuity though through the whole development?
On both sides and throughout the entire development.
Okay, because this is the way this looks. It doesn't look that way. That's why I'm
Yeah,
asking the question.
It's.
Right
I
at.
can assure you that it's there.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we have sidewalks proposed on both sides.
All right. Thanks.
Councilman Barrett.
Actually, one more question on the trail. So part of that trail, I believe, goes into, I think it's called the Emmaus Associates property. Is it Emmaus Associates?
Yeah, the apartment complex?
Yeah. Is that being counted? Is the intent that that trail would remain? I mean, is there an agreement between them, or is that really a
There's no agreement
separate?
that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think there's any plan to remove that path. As far as I know, there's no agreement. Like I said, from our path here, you get up to the sidewalk,
Mhm.
and although that path does continue across
Correct.
a private driveway.
Yep.
I don't think there's any agreement, there's no agreement to allow the general public to just continue on, but there is access to the sidewalk.
Okay, so whatever is existing there, I mean, there's nothing that's gonna be in, right, what about, I mean, I guess it was more of an improvement, was it gonna be improved, at all? Really, it sounds like nothing is gonna get done to that portion.
I don't think so.
Okay, okay,
I mean, if there's any repair, I think they'll do the repairs that are necessary if it's disrepair.
yeah,
And then the homeowner association will be owning and maintaining this, so any subsequent years down, years
Right.
later, they will have to maintain
right,
it.
okay. Great.
Any other questions? Approve the resolution now? All right.
Just one last question. I just want to be clear. Are the roads themselves then, and maybe Shane, you could answer, are the roads ours then to plow then? Once
No,
that's fully up by them? and
The roads are
everything?
already private.
Okay.
Everything's private,
Just
right?
making sure. Okay, thank you.
There will be water and sewer lines, which will be the responsibility ultimately of LCA.
Okay.
But everything else, all the other infrastructure is private in the development.
That's what I assumed, but.
And then the only thing that's really technically open to the public would be the walking trails that are going to be designated for public use.
Well, before you, you have a resolution number 2016-07, a resolution conditionally approving the Phase 1 final plan for the fields at Indian Creek. Is there a motion to approve? Councilwoman Gilbert, second. Councilman Dufresne, discussion? All those in favor? Those opposed? Those abstaining? There's one abstaining. Councilman Barrett, 6 ayes.
I will need each of you to sign the resolution, please.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Unfinished business part 2. We have a ordinance 1135 that will have its second reading March 7th. Items not on the agenda. Anybody? Mayor's report.
I just want to mention to council about our new police officer, Adam Foster. Why, in that snow that we had, the big one, are you familiar up in the Fitch Street Mountain where the tractor place is way up in the top of the hill? Well, they bring this big equipment through, and actually since Broad Street the way it is, they have to get them in different areas. Well, the truck got stuck at St. Anne's, and it was a mess. Fifth Street all blocked off. I have to tell you this because the farmer himself told me he couldn't believe how Adam handled himself with his mannerism and the way he took charge over everything. Did an outstanding job, so I just wanted to, let you know.
Thank you, Mayor.
Being a rookie, did a good job.
Thank you, Mayor. It's always nice to hear those stories. Committee reports, Public Works. Chairman Brown.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. There is one item for official action. This is the Emmaus Remembrance Garden Foundation. Dr. Waddell, Michael Waddell was there. Thank you. He's here as well. He was there representing the Emmaus Remembrance Garden Foundation. They would like to have permission to dig a 10-foot wide by 6-inch deep swale from the walkway to the drains at the edge of the property towards the road. It would go about 100 feet in length. It would be graded to drain the water to the drain as it was originally designed. The issue is it's ponding water at the Remembrance Garden entrance. There are pictures, as you can see in your notes. Dr. Waddell and the Emmaus Remembrance Garden would get a contractor that would complete the work and organize to pay and have it completely restored with grass, plantings, and also other anything else that may be like trees being trimmed or things of that nature. So is there any questions or concerns about this? Anybody see that? If not, I'd like to make a motion. It was unanimously recommended to full council to make a motion to approve the request to dig a swale contingent upon proper approvals and hold a harmless agreement.
Motion by Councilman Brown. Is there a second? Councilman Dufresne, discussion, questions? All those in favor? 7 ayes.
Thank you. That was our only official action, but there are other items that we discussed, but no action is needed. Just want to give you guys a quick update. The 10th Street culvert, just to remind all, the total project cost is about $368,777. We got a grant from PennDOT, $238,777. Our share is $130,000. We're still waiting. We're still wanting to get this project done this year. PennDOT still needs to release the funds to us. So at this point, the project's still on hold. What we were looking to really do is get it done this summer. But if the monies are still held up, we're going to try to still go forward and get it done this 2016 year. I personally have reached out to Justin Simmons' office and Lisa Boscola's office to help get us support and get those funds released from PennDOT. The issue, PennDOT, is saying that the issue is the budget stalemate up at the state level. So again, I reached out to Justin Simmons and Lisa Boscola, so they are working on our behalf. It was very nice to, that they are willing to work for that. Hopefully, we'll find out the status soon on that. So progress on that. Also, the plowing, we talked about many different things, but one of the things was plowing and snow removal process and other items. But besides that, that's about it. Any questions or comments? I'll report progress.
Thank you, Chairman Brown. Health, Sanitation, and Codes. Chairman Schipster.
Thank you. We have nothing for official action this evening. Our next meeting is scheduled for February 18th at 3:45. I will, however, I live on Furnace Street also, so I will, prior to that meeting, be in that area to take a look at what you discussed. And then we can review it at that meeting. And I'll report progress.
If we can get some photographs for that meeting, that would be fantastic.
I mean,
especially if you have a personal view
That's
from
fine.
your backyard. Areas where we can't necessarily see from the street.
Okay, that'd be great. All right, report progress.
Thank you, Chairman Schipster. Parks and Recreation, Chairman Anders.
Yes, we met on February 2nd here in council chambers. We have several items on the agenda this evening. The first is the class of EHS 66 is holding a 50th reunion at Community Park, and they're requesting use of space to also hold a car show, a small car show of classic cars. We discussed it at committee. We did recommend it 3-0 with the approval of a fee to rent the basketball court area for the car show. So that I would like to put that in the form of a motion to approve the class of 66 EHS 50th reunion / car show. That's it.
June 11th.
June 11th, excuse me.
Yep. Motion by Councilman Anders, second. Councilman Barrett, discussion, questions? Councilwoman Gilbert.
Just a question, do they need to provide us with liability insurance?
Yes. Would you like to amend your
I think that needs
your
to be
motion and second
contingent upon
to
that.
I believe it was on
contingent
there.
upon?
Yeah, contingent
He
upon.
said he has it, but make it in the
We'll
motion.
make it contingent upon, I'll amend my motion.
Amend the
Contingent
motion,
upon
amend the
insurance.
second? Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Discussion? All those in favor? 7 ayes.
Next on the agenda is from the Emmaus Fire Department for an Easter egg hunt in public safety education. This also would be held at Community Park on March 19th, 11:15 to 4 p.m. Basically, they want to do some education, public safety education, and then have a fun Easter egg hunt. This is a first-time event, so I'd like to put that in the form of a motion to approve it.
Motion by Councilman Anders. Is there a second? Councilman Barrett. Questions, discussion? Councilman Brown?
Yeah, I just want to make a quick comment. I want to thank Chief David Nelson for, kind of putting some things together from the fire department side and through everything we've been through so far. Chief Nelson's doing a good job here, and this is one of the things that he thought of, and it's going to be an exciting time.
He's partnering with the Active Learning Center. I think they were very key in the idea.
Oh, is that right? Okay. Well, thank you, Active Learning Center.
Well, it's nice to see them partner together then.
Right.
It's also nice to see them get out there into the community and provide education. Are there any other questions, comments? All those in favor? There are 7 ayes.
Next on the agenda is from the East Penn EPEMFA. I'll abbreviate it. It's the East Penn Football Association. They are requesting to construct a pavilion at Community Park. The pavilion would be also available for the borough to rent out during part of the season, with the funds going back into the football field and park areas. They are constructing it themselves with the cost of to build the full pavilion. It would still be on our property and we would own it, but they would use it during their football season for meetings and/or their concessions area. So I'd like to put that in the form of a motion to approve the construction of the pavilion for the EPEMFA.
Motion by Councilman Anders, second. Councilman Barrett, questions, discussion? Councilman Barrett?
I just wanted to thank EPEMFA for stepping up to do these types of projects. I know EYA has stepped up for other projects, and I think culturally it's a great thing to have your youth sports, any of the other community groups coming in with projects like this, recognizing that it benefits them for the time that they need it, but that it can also benefit the entire community. And I think that's something that over the last few years has really changed within all of those groups, which is a very positive direction to be going in. So thank you to the Football Association.
Any other comments or questions? Councilman
I just have
Schubster.
one question. It says that they'll pay for the construction of the pavilion. How about the maintenance? Like, who maintains the building?
I think at the end of the day, it's going to be our responsibility to maintain it, because we are going to own it.
Do we maintain the building too?
Yeah, I mean, it's our building to maintain.
Well,
but
we
there's
had
a
an
lease
actual agreement. So what does it say?
The day-to-day maintenance of that building is their
But
responsibility.
if it needs a roof, we repair it.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions? All those in favor? 7 ayes.
Okay, next, speaking of the EPEMFA, they have their request for a field usage fee waiver. We have approved this in the past, I don't know how many years.
Every year?
Yeah, as far back as I can recall. Basically, as we said, they do give back to the community here. They're building this. They maintain their field. They put seating on the field each year. They've done projects in the park for cleanup and so forth. So I would recommend the field usage waiver fee for the EPEMFA for the 2016 year.
Motion by Councilman Anders, second. Councilman Barrett, questions, discussion? All those in favor? 7 ayes.
And beyond that, just you can review the notes. Nothing else for further progress this evening. With that, I'll report progress.
Thank you, Chairman Anders. Chairwoman Gilbert, Public Safety Committee.
Thank you. Nothing for official action this evening. Just so everybody is aware, Officer Thompson and Officer Polster have now completed their hours of FTO training, so they will be assigned to a platoon. However, they still are under their probation period, but they will be out on their own now. What platoons they'll be assigned to, that's up to Chief Faust. I have no idea, but they have completed their FTO training and they've done well, so they will be out on their own. Other than that, our next meeting is March 2nd at 3 p.m. I'll report progress.
Thank you, Chairwoman Gilbert. General Administration Chairman Barrett.
Yes. We have 2 items that require official action. The first one is to reappoint Angela Fadley to the Arts Commission with a term expiring 2/7/19, and I'll place that in the form of a motion.
Motion by Councilman Barrett. Is there a second? Councilwoman Gilbert, questions, discussion? All those in favor? 7 ayes.
And the second item is to appoint a new, what is the proper term for this? person to publish our codes, I guess, to codify
Codification
our codes. There we go.
manager. It's a codification manager.
Codification manager. There's the exact one that I was looking for. Yes.
Well, it said it right on it.
Does it say it on it? Codification services, there we go. I guess if I read it instead of trying to go off of memory. Regardless, yeah, we have used, we had a previous company, Key State Publishing. The owner of that company passed away. They are no longer going to be in business. The new company that we're recommending is basically taking over all of their accounts. We'll upload our previous codes into their system, and we need to approve an agreement to work with them. So I'll place that in the form of a motion.
Motion by Councilman Barrett, is there a second? Councilwoman Gilbert, questions, discussion? Councilman Anders?
Is there any difference in fee structure compared to what we've
Yeah,
previously?
I'm going to ask Shane. Shane, there is an increase, but there's benefits, and I'll let Shane explain.
I mean, so there are numerous companies that do this, but there's one that dominates the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and that's General Code. They have 900 municipal clients in Pennsylvania. They're the recommended vendor by the PSAB. I've dealt with them before. One of the benefits that they provide, and this is what you pay for, they have what they call E-Code 360. So residents and council people and employees, anybody, can actually get on and search the ordinance by keyword. Right now you can't do that because we scan the ordinances in. But that's one of the benefits that they have. So if you're a resident and you want to know what the sidewalk regulations are, good luck trying to find that in you know our however many chapters we have. But now they can type in sidewalk, and every part of the code that has something to do with sidewalks will come up. So there is a cost to that. It's $1,400 a year, I think.
More, yeah.
A little bit more. They are going to download and transfer everything over for free. However, the cost that we're paying for is we had a number of ordinances that need to be codified. So we were up to do that this year anyway. So we just asked in their quote that they include what the cost would be to do the last 2 years of codification as well. So that's why you see the number that you see in their proposal. Most of that cost, I think they're waiving the first year of the E360, all the transfer, all the data, all that stuff is free for the first year. The cost that you see in year number 1 is to codify the current ordinances.
In the E360, is that something we can put a link from our website for anyone?
Yeah, so that's exactly what it is. They host it.
Okay.
Every time that they would recodify things, it automatically updates.
Right. Okay.
So when you go in, you would go to our website, type something in, and they actually host the
Excellent.
the part of it.
And Shane, if I remember correct,
I'm sorry,
Do they have an API for us to access into that?
I don't believe
Through
so.
our website?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure. That's something that our website developer and they would have to discuss, which.
Shane, if I remember correctly, instead of waiting 2 years to have them all done at once, now as we pass them, they will be done as we approve ordinances, correct?
I
On a
mean,
more regular basis.
We really should have a practice of every couple, maybe every 6 months codifying. That's really up to us. You know, we should just budget every year for, you know, every 6 months to codify instead of incurring, you know, that kind of cost at one time.
Okay. There's a motion on the floor. All those in favor? 7 ayes.
That is all that we have for official action. Our next meeting is tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Progress.
Thank you, Chairman Barrett. Budget and Finance Committee. That is myself. We have the bill list. Resolution 2016-6. Resolved by Borough Council to authorize payment of the February 16, 2016 bill list as follows. Bill list $330,803.11. Payroll number 3, $129,334.92. Payroll taxes, $47,072.96. for a total of $507,210.99, done this 16th day of February 2016. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
Jeff.
Councilman Schubsta, is there a second? Councilwoman Gilbert, questions, discussions? Councilwoman Gilbert.
Are we still making it contingent upon only paying LCA a portion?
Yes.
Mr. Schuster, could you add that to your motion, please?
I'll amend my motion.
The motion has been amended contingent upon
On the LCA
holding the
bill.
LCA payment,
Partial payment to
Partial.
LCA.
and you amend your second?
Yeah. Thank
Any
you.
other questions or discussion? All those in favor? 7 ayes. There are no other items. Oh, no, general authority request list. You have a letter from the general authority, or from us to the general authority, requesting certain items from the general authority, and you have that list in front of you. Is there a motion to approve the list for the general authority?
I'll make that motion.
Councilman Schubsta, second. Councilwoman Gilbert, any questions, comments? Councilman Brown.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to the General Authority. Over the years, they gave donations to us, and we're able to purchase police cars and different items that sometimes can affect our general budget. So thank you again to the General Authority.
Thank you. Any other comments? All those in favor? 7 ayes. That is it for Budget and Finance. I report progress. Community Relations Planning and Development, Chairman Dufresne.
There's no items for official action tonight. We did meet on February 11th. Your notes are in here. We did discuss the Southwestern Lehigh Comprehensive Plan. They're sending out surveys to residents. I did receive mine on Friday, I believe, filled out. I think it took like 10 minutes. So hopefully, if you do get it, you do fill it out. We also talked about the meetings at the borough representatives. Our group should get involved in here, so we'll look into that farther. And Volunteer of the Year, we need to get some nominations here, so I'll be sending out an email, and hopefully some of you can provide me with some suggestions for that. Other than that, progress. Our next meeting is March 10th at 4 o'clock.
Thank you, and that's Volunteer of the Year for 2015?
15.
Okay.
15, yes.
So if anybody has any ideas on that, start thinking about it as you're around town, and maybe something will pop in your head. Thank you, Chairman Dufresne. Personal Appeals Part 2. Is there anybody that has a personal appeal? Hearing none. Borough Manager's Report.
Your significant revenue and expense items for the first half of February are in your iPads, your binders. I guess the question is are you ready to let go of your binders yet?
Yes.
I know there's at least one person that will keep making the binder for, but I have a feeling that there's a second person that still wants her binder. Her. It may be
thanks
her.
for pointing me out.
I didn't get that.
Maybe her.
Everybody else did.
May not be her.
Could be her.
It's up to you. I mean, it ends up just being a print button, really. If you're not comfortable with just the iPad, let me know.
In all fairness, this is our second meeting, only your first.
First.
Yeah.
We'll give you another one.
Oh, gee, thanks.
So
Do you
I
want a
think.
decision? Do you want us to make a decision on that, or?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you can give me some feedback, that'd be awesome.
I'm fine with them.
Personally, I like it.
My keyboard doesn't work, but I'm good.
That's by design for you, though.
I'd like the touch part of it.
Only half of the touch
Touche.
part.
Anybody else?
The iPad's good.
Okay, so we still need to, and maybe we'll talk about this in Gen Ed tomorrow morning. We need to figure out about Friday packets and how we want to handle distributing that information. It's part of the whole goal here.